and onto her other soul-bounded friends. I don't think they're friends, they fight each other a lot. Onto the other soul-bounded villains of the Remnant that is actually being portrayed in the public as the superheroes and the good guys of the times that come to usher in peace and peace and justice and everything, is the Watchers of Apollyon, which are the main bad guys of the Remnant. And the backstory, the kind of Remnant canon lore behind it, from taking this information from Secret Files issue 0, is in the antediluvian world, the rogue angel Azazel wreaked havoc on Earth. He taught the humans forbidden arts and magic. Among his wicked exploits was the mixing of genes. He mixed plants with animals, angels with humans, and other demented works. He recorded all his exploits in a journal. This journal was handed down through time and maintained by an ancient cult of Nephilim. Rumors say that King Solomon viewed the book and engaged in some of the arcane spells contained within it. The book has been passed down to Apollyon, who has begun to put some of the forbidden knowledge into practice. The resurrection of dead Nephilim has been his passion project. Hiring elite Project Paperclip survivors and the world's most notorious scientists, Apollyon has cloned superhuman bodies. To fill these bodies with the spirit, he used Azazel's red baptism ritual. Azazel. What did I just say? Azazel? Azazel? Why did I say that? Azazel. I think it's Azazel. We'll go with Azazel. The red baptism is performed by submerging a human or soulless husk into the red blood pool. The pool contains demonic entities and lost spirits of deceased Nephilim. When submerged, the participant agrees to swear the eternal loyalty to Apollyon and in turn Satan himself. The participant emerges from the baptism with superhuman abilities courtesy of the demonic entity now soul attached. The process is painful and produces an acute sense of terror. The newly emerged Eps, which in the Remnant universe is enhanced super person, kind of like metahumans in DC, or metahumans in DC is the only comparison, is eternally lost and unredeemable. What the participants do not realize is that not only they have submitted their souls, but also their free will, as Apollyon can impose his will and desires on the Esp. Well, I say Esp as ESP, but I just like to say Esp more like recorded. But the Watchers are the group of individuals that have taken the red baptism in the Remnant universe, or are poised to take the red baptism. Currently, the current members, as of current publication, I think I am like 4 issues behind on the Remnant, but from the 30 issues I've covered, Nephilim 6, which is a reborn Nephilim into the 21st century through, as I read it, the Nephilim cloning program that takes place in the Remnant. Then there is Weaponized, which is an Egyptian mythology-esque type of villain. Weaponized. Apollyon appeared to him while he was venerating the Egyptian gods and gave him the opportunity of true power and all that, and he took the red baptism and he became weaponized. I believe there is an upcoming Parables of the Remnant issue 9 short story with him going off against Raytheon of the Remnant. I believe that, I don't know if that's in Kickstarter, if that is going to Kickstarter, if it was just one of those comics but just decided to just push into release. And then there is, on the Watchers, there's Point Blank. There's Point Blank, who is this archer type of mercenary who will, when he's like Apollyon's kind of like main, at least the way he was written in one of the Secret Files books. He hasn't had any mainline story appearances. The Remnant has a lot of characters who haven't had any mainline story appearances. They mainly appear in Secret Files, but he is a kind of like assassin, a bow and arrow assassin that never misses his mark after taking the red baptism. That is like his more form of superpower that he was quote unquote blessed with after doing the red baptism. There's Captain Thunder. I don't know if he is part of, if he is a watcher or not, at least in Distant Thunder issue 1, which is a comic from the Remnant I highly recommend. It's a really fun read by the one and only written by the one and only Don Perkins. I really like Don's writing style and stuff for that. I don't know if he is if he took the red baptism or not, but he is seen a lot with the Watchers. And the next one, who's gonna have a cool storyline coming out soon, is Warriora. I think it's pronounced Warriora. That's how Evan David pronounced it when he was talking about it, because that story is written by Evan David, and it is going into, I think it's soon. The marketing for it is hyping up, but basically, in a nutshell, I describe it as a what if story of what if Wonder Woman realized that all that she believed about the Greek gods and whatnot was a lie implanted to her by the Antichrist, and she decided to become a Christian hero. It sounds wild. That is the story concept. That is, in a nutshell, that is the story concept. And the artwork for it by JB Reyes so far it's been coming together really, really nicely. I mean, I'm talking like if I have background information into things, but I don't have background information to it. I just see what is being advertised in the Remnant group, and that story is it's looking like it's gonna be really, really nice. I'll review it once the issue comes out officially. But the Watchers are just your standard super villains. It's like they're just your run-of-the-mill super villains. At least the way they're presented. Some of them, none of them have really had any like big grandiose solo confrontations with the heroes. I lie. I repent. That's a lie. There's that epic battle between Nephilim 6 and the Apostle from the Remnant issue 2. And then they had a couple big confrontations such as they fight over Blue Flame Soul. Yeah, that was a mind lapse. Yeah, they've had big confrontations against the Remnant. In the most recent published issue of the Remnant issue 4, they fight for Blue Flame Soul. The Watcher, there was like a direct clash between the Watchers and the Remnant, and it was really, really well done. I enjoyed that issue a lot. And then solo confrontations. We haven't had much solo confrontations as yet. We've had like Jade pop up taking on some of the folks from last gen. Jade is this I think there was a jab at her calling her a Discount Mortal Kombat character. But yeah, they had Jade taking on some of the last gen folks. What else we had? Yeah. But yeah, that's the Watchers. They're just the premise of the Antichrist assembling his own superhero team and presenting it as like they come to usher in world peace and everything. Even though these things look demonic as can be, the world endorses them and sides with them because they are on the right side of history, kind of thing. It's a direct social commentary of what the world is like today. I don't know. You can ask Bill. If you're listening to this podcast episode, let us know.